guys, Gav from MilSpares Garage. Just a quick little video and just a mail call I'm going to do today. I still don't have my GoPro. I was about to go and buy my GoPro, and then the process just went straight through the roof. I think it went up $300. So it was about $580 for I think it was a GoPro 9, and now it's like almost $800 something. So yeah, that kind of killed it. And the laptop I was going to get was $1,800, and now it's $2,500, I think. So everything's just gone bonkers with price. So that's kind of killed me in trying to get the new gear to do good videos. So we're still using the old cracked screen iPad. So bear with me with that one, guys. What have you got up to the last time since we did the video, which is quite a while ago. I do apologise for not getting videos out a lot sooner than I should be, but just things are pretty hectic like usual, and you know, I've still got my pain issues, and I come home from work at the end of the day and I'm pretty wrecked. Like today, I kind of had the ambition to get stuff done, and now that I'm home, I mean, I'm starting to get a bit of a migraine creeping up the back of my head. My wrist hurts, my ankle hurts, my back hurts. My ankle on my left foot's starting to hurt because I dropped some weld spool on it last night, doing a bit of welding on this panel here. I'll show you. So that burnt through and gave me some nice nasty burns. So last night it didn't actually hurt, which is kind of strange, but I think it's because it was just so badly burned it didn't actually hurt. And then today, because I've been walking around, it's been rubbing in the boot. I had a what's called an elastoplast. I don't know if you guys get them overseas, but they're a really strong fabric, tough kind of band-aid, and I had that on my ankle. But with the sock and the boot and everything, it's just been sort of rubbing it, and it's getting a bit sore. So I don't think I'm going to be doing anything today. We're expecting some rain for the rest of the week, so we'll probably just hook in and do it then. But what I have been doing the last couple of weeks, I'll just go and get the part and I'll show you what I've been doing. So the part that I've been working on, trying to fix up, is the floor panel section. Now this part, it is kind of like the kick panel. So you've got two of them on either side on the I'm trying to remember which way they go. I think they go like that. So you've got two on each side, if you look at it like that, on the Dodge cabin. All right, it's a kind of a kick panel, so to speak. So it goes from the floor. The two arms that come out from the floor, and it sits there, and then there's another piece that I've got to fabricate here, which has the folds in it, and that goes onto the floor, and then this goes to the firewall. So what I've had to do with this one is I basically have had, like on here, actually you'll see it better on here. You can see where I've had to basically just do that whole section, redo that, try and do the fold, as you can see, by hand. I'm not too fussed about the welds in there. I don't really care too much because this is it's not a factory restoration. If it was a factory restoration, I'd probably be taking a lot more care in getting these bits, like this stuff. I'd be cleaning it all up a lot better and making sure the welding's a lot better. But at the moment, you're pretty much not going to see this unless you're under the truck. And I just want to get the truck back on the road and running. And so looking at it from this side, if you look hard, you're going to see there is a difference. I mean, you can see from where there's fresh metal to where there's pitted metal. All right, and you can see where I've just dug a little bit deep with the grinder and the flap disc. But from a distance, if you're sitting in the cab, you're probably not even really going to notice it. So that was one panel that we did. And of course I dropped it. And this is the other panel that I did. Okay. As you can see, there's the patches that I had to do on the back. Alright. There's the welds. I'm not too fast about the welds, like I said. It's just about making it look pretty on the outside. Okay, so I've worked on those two parts. And yeah, of course we got that dirty minimum on. We'll get that sorted. So that's kind of what I did the last couple of weeks, working on those parts. And let me just put them up there. And then the other part that I needed to get done was I think you might call it the transmission hump, maybe. It's the part that sits right up underneath the cowl. And obviously your gear stick and everything is here in the front section here. And this is where your I think your brake pedal goes through here, the accelerator pedal goes through here. This gets welded to the firewall, and then this is where the actual cover for the gearbox and transmission goes into there. So there was a lot of work that had to get done on this. It was bent, knocked around. As you can see, this part here, we need to do a little bit of work on that. I've had to patch that section here. Let's see if I can get this. Get a bit of light. So you can see I've had to patch this part just here. Okay, yet to grind it back. Do a little bit of filling here just to get that roundness back into the hole for the accelerator pedal. And I had two holes here. I don't know why they're there. And then I've just got to fix that rot. So I'm just going to put the piece across here. Clean the back, because we're kind of halfway through cleaning the back of it. Get that cleaned up, grind back the welds, and that's that piece done. And I think this is the only captured nut, this one here. I'm not sure if you can see the threads in it. I'll have to run a thread chaser through it just to see. It may be alright, it may not be alright, but I don't think so, because a lot of the fixtures and fittings on this truck, they're just rotted and gutted and not a very good condition. Can't really, I mean, you guys have probably seen a lot of the stuff. Like this is the carriage bolts, as you can see. So, I mean, that gives you an idea of just how sort of bad they are. I mean, you could kind of say, you know, clean it up, run a thread chase over it. Yeah, she might be alright, but something I've noticed with a lot of the old metal is it kind of goes soft. Maybe it's just a chemical reaction with the metal over the years of being exposed out to the elements. It has some sort of weird, some maybe heat cold stretches. It'll do something with it, but yeah, I found that's happened a lot. Trying to get bolts off, trying to get nuts and things, and then they go a bit like bubble gum. They just get that flex and rubbery kind of twist into them, and then they just not snap. They don't snap. They just pull apart. It's very strange. So I'm kind of the opinion that a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing is just brand new bolts like this. So you know, they got markings on it. They're not original. Okay, this is just stuff I picked up from a local bolt supplier. You just can't find those Dodge, Plymouth, DeSoto, Chrysler bolts anymore, anywhere. They're as rare as unicorn shit. So, and the ones that are on eBay are just ridiculously expensive. So, but anyway, the other thing we're going to quickly I'll move the camera and get in a better spot to do it, but I just wanted to do a quick little this little mail call. So I've got my parcel that should have some Jeep parts in it, and I just wanted to open it up with all you guys having a look at it, and we'll just run through it and just make sure the bits and bobs are there. But yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting to see what's in here. All right, so I'll just reposition the camera and we'll get in a better spot and see what's in there. Cool guys, so just a little quick mail call. I went and got a whole bunch of parts for my Jeep gearbox at the Military Jeep Club Queensland's swap meet last year, I believe. That was October last year. And I needed to get some parts for the transfer case, because a lot of the stuff that I got is it's not up to spec. So I kind of decided to bite the bullet and go for some brand new gear. So I've still got the gearbox parts sitting over there ready to go. I've just got to clean the outside of the case, and it's going to be a Willis case for the transfer case, because the Ford one needs to have a bit of machining work on the faces for the thrust washers. They're apparently a little bit worn out, a bit wallowed out. So, but I'll quickly just go through. So this is my box. It just turned up today, and see if we can cut through what we've got without cutting it all up. Now I'll tell you who I got it from in a bit, and run through the parts that I got. So it's very well packaged, as you can see. Yeah. Okay. So, what do we got? Timken bearings. Cool. So I've got a couple of those. 1, 2, and 3. Which is for the... there's 4 of them. Any other little surprises? Okay. Original Timken bearings. Input, output shafts, etc., etc. For the transfer case, for the gearbox. And we should have a whole bunch of other little goodies. And bit like opening everything up for Christmas. So yeah, interesting how it's packaged up. Alrighty, what have we got? We got some foam. Kids will be happy with that. They go nuts with this stuff. I'll take that upstairs and they can have a play with that. And what else have we got? Some Joe's Motor Pool, GPW, bearing, clutch release. Beautiful. Brand spanking new. Okay, because the one that I had is for the T90. So as you can see, you probably can't see. The one I had for the T90. So that obviously wasn't going to work with what I have. I need the T84 part. What have we got here? Okay, so we've got the flange, which I'm pretty sure I had one of these, but what I was concerned about was the wear on here. So I'm not quite at that point where I would be contacting somebody like Speedy Sleeve to try and get a sleeve for that. It's just a headache of mucking around, posting it off, whatever. It kind of just seems a little bit easier to just buy a brand new part. Problem solved. So we've got that. What else have we got in here? We've got spare parts for World War II Willys Jeeps from Joe's Motor Pool. So this is the gasket set for the transfer case. Okay, Joe's Motor Pool parts. Alrighty, so that's great that we've got that. And what I'll do this weekend, I'll have a crack at the putting that gearbox and transfer case together, and obviously I'll check through all my parts before I do it, and make sure that we've got everything that we need to have had. Big box of goodies. Alrighty. So we have shift lever spring, 2 of those, okay, 2 pop-up ball springs, everything. This is fantastic, Lewis. So the intermediate bearings, okay. The vent for the transfer case, complete set. I didn't have the cover, so I just kind of bought the complete set. Snap ring. I'll go through this way. As you can see. Okay, so throw out bearing spring. Big clutch. Auto retaining cap, which is always missing. I'm gonna have to get more of these because I've got three. Actually, I've got four gearbox cases. 2 are Fords and 2 are Willis, and one's an old one and one's a new one. So yeah, anyway, so these things are always missing, and I obviously was missing one for mine. So shift rail interlock. Okay, I did have a whole bunch of these things floating around. I have no idea where they've gone. They've just disappeared. The other snap ring for the output shaft. Thrust washer output ring. So screw for the shift lever pin. So I think I was missing one of those. You've got with the grease nipple, you've got the pin for the shift levers, a new one, because the one that I had is kind of worn out, so it wallowed around a little bit. And I'm just at that point where it's kind of like, I'm going to be building this thing. I only want to be building it once. I don't want to be building it and then it fails on me when I'm out whoop driving around. So this is why I'm getting all the new parts. We've got the poppet balls. Okay. New thrust washers. Alright. Beautiful. Compared to the ones that I have. That's your clutch bearing. Output shaft clutch bearing. Okay. And throw out bearing. The only problem is I've got to figure out how to get these on, because I don't have a press. And PTO cover, which I couldn't remember if I've had one, if I got one, but it doesn't matter because it means I've got a spare anyway. So, but now I know I've got the right part. I can compare it and see if that's what it is. And a little brake drum. That brake drum. Okay. Now, I'm going to need more parts for that because I don't have the complete linkages. I have a couple of bits and pieces of the linkages, but I don't have all of the parts. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue, but we can get onto that later on. So it's not too big of a deal. Having to get that part because it's on the outside, and basically what I wanted to do is just to get everything that was on the inside so I can just get it get it buttoned up and get it painted, and it's done. Look at this, I can't even put it back together. Still got all these parts. So basically, that all those parts come from MilSpares, which is Nigel Ward in Brisbane, in Queensland, Australia. For all you foreign friends that watch my waffling on videos. Okay, now, so basically, Military Vehicle Spares Proprietary Limited. Okay, MilSpares. All right, Nigel Ward's company. As you can see, it's my parts listing. All right, it's 2 pages long. I still need to get more. So, reason why I get my stuff from Nigel is he's a very approachable fella. I can pretty much send him a message on Facebook Messenger. I can give him a ring. If I need to, I don't even have to go to his website to search for the item and place an order that way. I can just send him a message on Facebook Messenger and say, hey mate, this is what I've got. Does this work? Does this look good? No. Okay, I need that part. You know, can I organise it? We get it paid up, and he sends it out to me, and you know, it takes about 2 days to get from Brisbane to here, which is, it's like an hour's drive away, but for some reason it takes a long time to come down with couriers. And he's been really quite patient with me in my learning of these vehicles, and I can pretty much ask him any dumb question and he'll help me out to get my head around stuff. So I have tried to work with other vendors. I have bought stuff from overseas, and it is quite difficult to try and converse with people overseas, not only because of the time difference, but just the fact that they're so busy and I can't really ring them because of that time difference, obviously. And then when I do send them a message, it's got to be like an email message, and it takes a long time for them to get it, a long time to obviously read through it, go through it, and then reply back to me, and then I ask another question, sort of thing. And the cost of getting these parts over from America, for example, are frightfully expensive at the moment. Obviously, our currency conversion is pretty poor. About 8 years ago, it was on parity. So I think we're about 98 cents to the US dollar, and I think now we're probably somewhere around 68, 72 cents, something like that. That's thanks to our government. We don't have a manufacturing industry here anymore because our government's pretty stupid, and they want to basically get stuff from overseas. And so what they tried to do is to devalue the dollar and make it cheaper for companies to want to buy things from Australia, which we don't have much of anyway, because obviously the Australian dollar is worth less than the American dollar. It's cheaper to buy it from overseas, whereas here in Australia it's the same cost. Everything's expensive. Everything is Australia is expensive, right? And then it's doubly expensive to try and get it from overseas. So that's kind of the reason why I don't purchase things from like Kaiser Willys, or Ron Fitzpatrick, or Peter DeBella. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying their parts are bad. I'm just saying as an Australian Jeep restorer who's on a really tight budget that's basically nothing, I have to factor in these extra costs, and I get really frustrated when I don't understand something and I need to speak to somebody about it, and we're just doing this ping pong email back and forth, and they get frustrated and I get frustrated, and then things get lost in translation, and you never really get the answer you want. And I'm kind of finding that with a retailer in the States at the moment when it comes to the Dodge parts. I'm trying to ask about getting Dodge parts, and I get it basically. I'll ask a question like, do you make the floor panels for the toolbox with the indents? You know, the ones that I worked on a couple of weeks ago. This one, okay, working on this one. As you can see, it's just I've just done it as flat panel because I don't have the tools to do that square indent, and I'm not going to muck around trying to make a form and bash it all out and do whatever I want to do. All right, I just want to get the thing back on the road. So I got quite frustrated with this retailer when I said, "Do you have this part?" And he ignored me for a couple of days, and then I said, "Oh, do you have another part? And do you have this part?" And he's like, "Well, yes, I have this part." And I said, "Well, great. Can you tell me how much it will cost for the part and how much it will cost to have it sent here to Australia?" "Oh, no. I'll tell you how much it is for the part, but I'm not mucking around trying to find how much it'll cost to send it to Australia." "Okay, well, you just lost a customer. So, if you can't be bothered to help me, and it's too difficult for you to make money, then I'm not going to spend my money with you. So you can get stuffed." So when it comes to people like Nigel, Nigel's like I said, he's always available. You can always contact him. You can always catch up with him. He's at the Jeep swap meets. He's at the Corowa Swim-In, which is the meet for all the amphibious vehicles that they have every year. He travels almost all over Australia to some of these events. He will take a truck of parts, and lay it out, and you can come in and you can pick whatever parts you need. I think when we went to the Military Jeep Club of Queensland swap meet at Caboolture last year, I walked in there and I said, "Here's my gearbox, here's my transfer case, tell me what you think." He said, "Your gearbox is great, your transfer case needs work on it." I said, "What about this one?" He said, "No, that's all right, give it a clean up, she should be good." And I said, "This is the parts that I've got, what do you think?" He said, "Nope, that's worn out, nope, that's not good, nope, you'll have some problems with that. That one's fine, you can use that part, you can use this part." And I said, "Okay, great. Now, to really frustrate you and ask a dumb question, do you reckon you could sit down and put a list together of the parts that I need, and I'll buy them for you?" And he said, "Yep, fine, no worries." And so we went off, and I think it was about an hour later or something, half an hour later. So we came back, and he said, "Yep, I've got the list ready for you to go. I've got all the parts all sorted. Let's go through it." And he went through all the different parts, and got it all paid up, and I've got them sitting over there in the bag, ready to go. And I don't really know of many retailers that take the time out of their day to do that. I mean, he was busy, and he did have other people there helping him deal with other customers, but it's kind of like when you got some dumb idiot like me walking in going, "I don't know what I need, I don't know what I want. Can you help me?" And he'll sit there and he'll go, "Okay, yep, sure, no worries, let's go." And he goes through it. So that's pretty good. So thumbs up for Nigel. Like I said, MilSpares, I believe his website is www.milspares.net. I'll have a look and double check that, and I'll put it up on the screen and make sure it's correct. So if you live in Australia, especially in Queensland, you need Jeep parts, get on to Nigel and go get your parts from him. Like I said, I've tried to deal with the two other retailers here in Australia. One of those other retailers, it's in Sydney. We basically just don't get along anymore. He's got a real attitude problem and doesn't like it when people tell him he's got a real attitude problem. He makes great parts, and he's probably a nice bloke to everybody else, but there's been a few times that I've asked about some stuff and I wasn't happy with the price, or I just wanted to ask, like, why is this part so expensive when everybody else is selling the same part for half the price, type of thing. And his attitude is like, because I designed it and I made it and it's better than everybody else's. And it's like, oh, all right, okay, all right, toot your own horn, whatever. And then there's been a few times that we just butted heads, and we just don't work. The other retailer that's down in New South Wales, I gave up on him years ago. Trying to ring him, trying to email him. His website's so difficult to negotiate. You can't order anything on the website. It's not like it's a shopping list where you can scroll through the parts, you can click a box, say add to your cart, get to your cart, pay everything up, and it gives you pretty much your like a fixed price for your postage, sort of thing. his company just doesn't do that. He's old school. He wants old blokes to ring up and go, hey mate, you know, blah blah blah, how's your weekend? Yakking away for an hour or two on the telephone. In the meantime, there's guys like me ringing there, sitting on hold, going, is this guy ever going to answer the phone? Because I want to order something. I want to know. So Nigel's really great. I'm not getting paid by him. He's not sponsoring me. He's not giving me free stuff. You know, as I said, here's my invoice. Okay, all those parts all up, and I think it cost me $580.12. Okay, for my parts listing. So I paid for that out of my own pocket. It took me till I got my tax return to be able to afford it, because, you know, we've got to pay for other things. So he's not sponsoring me. He's not giving me free stuff. He's just a great bloke, and I just wanted to say thanks, Nigel, for helping me out, and being really patient with me and my dumb questions. And I know I can be frustrating. I know I'm a bit of a knuckle dragging, door kicking, ex rifleman infantry dumbass, but yeah, thanks for helping me out, mate. And there'll be a lot more orders coming in for more stuff. Obviously, we've got the 3 Jeeps and the Dodge, so there you go. So anyway, guys, that's where we're kind of at the moment. There's still lots of parts that need to get done. Obviously, things like, I can't really show you. We still got to work on the we've still got the cowling, cover the top here. We still got the instrument face where we've got to work on. It's okay. If I can get it out without knocking everything over, that'd be great. And I'll show you just how gutted it is. However, so as you can see, that railing under there is pretty gutted. This part under here is pretty gutted. Where the toolbox is, you know, pretty gutted. And on the side there. But the center part's pretty good. You know, the side section's not too bad. The steering column support strut's pretty good. And the base is there. And if you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you would have seen me getting stuck into these parts when they're pretty crusty, they're pretty rusty, they're pretty corroded and pretty worn out. And you know, I'll cut those sections out and I'll replace them. I'll weld some bits up, put some reinforcement bits behind them to join them up and fabricate the little bits. And when I'm kind of looking at it, it's like, it's not too bad. I think the challenge is going to be the cowl, the top of the cowl. We've got the firewall, which I'm not sure. I'll probably steal a photo off Instagram and show you. But I've got the firewall with the uprights that have the bracing that comes out on the side, and the uprights, when you're looking at the dash, it's those uprights that the little bracings go onto. Right on the side of the cowl, and the instrument panel obviously goes across the top of that, welds into that, and then your side panels get welded in and they're connected to that bracing. So I've got to take those two upright struts off and work on the inside panel. It's kind of hard to do because it's got a triangular indent pattern to it, so I've got to try and figure out how to do that. You'll probably never see it because there's a cover that goes on the inside, a kick panel cover that goes on the side of that, and then you've got your panels on the outside, which never mind. You know what I'm talking about. Where are they? Right there, dum-dum. Looking right at it. So these side panels here, okay? So the side panels. So it's the part that goes here, behind this bit here, the upright that goes here, and then it has the support brace that that goes in here somewhere and holds into here and whatnot. So that's the bits that I got to work on. So we get stuck into that, get that fixed up, get that sorted out, and it's where that bit bolts into. So that, you know, the part I'm talking about, the upright section here. Okay. And then we can weld that all back together, and then we've got to fix up the floor pan. So we've got the floor pan sitting out there in the weather, and got some holes in the actual part underneath the toolbox, the seat box. We've got to fix that up. Once that's done, we'll weld all of that together, and that part will be ready for paint, and then we'll basically start working on getting the body pulled apart and fixed up. And we have to do that because the rivets on that body are they're good on one side, and then they're just rotted out on the other side. Like, they just look like someone's just been chewing on the thing. So any body flex we're going to get in that Dodge WC-51 frame, it's just going to pop the rivets. They will pop through, and they'll probably hit the floor and fling off and smack through someone's windscreen on the freeway or whatever. So the whole thing has to be pulled apart. We have to clean it. We have to cut out some rot along the frame, and then we're going to have to bolt it all back together again. And I don't even know if I'm going to attempt to do hot rivets. That's way down the track. We'll worry about that later. So that's kind of the plan, the goal we're going through. And obviously we've got the forward body. We've still got to work on this. So we've got a bit of rust on the floor from where I did the floor repairs and the welds. We're going to grind them back, clean that up, get that done. We've got a bit of rust up under the cowl here from when it was sitting upside down, and we got some of the metal shavings from grinding under there, and that created a bit of rust. So we've got to fix that, and then just a couple little bits and pieces, and then we can finally get this cleaned up and painted, because we really need to start getting stuff painted. So anyway, guys, that's kind of where we're at. So I've been waffling along for probably a good half an hour now, but I will try my best to get some more videos out for you blokes and show us what we're getting up to. Obviously, we'll try and get that gearbox done this weekend. I'll put it together. I don't really know what the heck I'm doing. I'll throw it all in and hope it all comes together, and we'll film it. So anyway, guys, all the best. Keep safe. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao, ciao.